Hello, my name is Jason Hughes and I'm with the Golden Tiki, Las Vegas, Nevada. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Hemingway daiquiri at home, utilizing quality rum such as Lemba Dominican rum, some Luxardo Maraschino, fresh grapefruit juice, and fresh lime juice. All the tools I'm going to be using, all the ingredients are readily available at either your local supermarket and or groceries or liquor store. So before we get to the Hemingway daiquiri, named after the man Hemingway, let's talk about the daiquiri itself. Noted that was invented around 1902, early 1900s by a gentleman named Jennings Cox, who was an American foreman at the iron mines named Daiquiri Iron Mines in Santiago, Cuba. Also, Daiquiri is the name of one of the beaches in Santiago, Cuba. Pretty fun, huh? So what he did was he took limes, sugar, and locally sourced rums and put them over some fresh cracked ice in a tall glass and just had some fun. Created this wonderful drink. Fast forward to about the 1920s and 30s, Ernest Hemingway himself was frequenting La Florida in Cuba and loved the La Florida daiquiri, which was a daiquiri, sugar, lime juice, and locally sourced rums with some maraschino. Now maraschino is a cherry liqueur out of Italy. They range in proofs, they range in sweetness, but I always like to think of it like a cherry grappa. It's a little on the drier side, it's clear, it's not so aggressive with sweetness, but yet it is. It also has a little funkiness to it, which kind of reminds me of grappa. So to get everything going for a Hemingway daiquiri, you need just 4 ingredients. Quality rum, obviously Cuban rum, but since we don't have Cuban rums, we're going to use a wonderful Dominican rum from Lemba. It is their agricole. Now, what makes agricole different than a standard rum is they don't use molasses. What they do use is the sugarcane juice straight from the source. Boom. So it doesn't have to go through any of the sugar refinement and sugar production that you would normally find in a Spanish or even an American / British style rum. So get a good quality rum such as Lemba, a little bit of maraschino, fresh ruby red grapefruit juice, and fresh lime juice. Now, when it comes to juice, you want to use fresh. Fresh is better. That being said, you can utilize something simple as this little juicer here. Boop. Comes with different attachments, so you can juice larger fruits, smaller fruits, get all that out. You can even go as far as to get one of these little hand pressers. Sell them in different styles, different attachments. Some you can juice limes and lemons separate in the same squeezer. Some you can buy just for lime, just for lemon. It's totally up to you. Most people have a juicer lying around their house. If not, hey, do your best to juice it. Fresh is better. So that being said, let's go ahead and start making the cocktail. Now, we're going to start with a nice little cocktail glass. We want a cold cocktail to go into a cold glass. Otherwise, it starts to warm up faster than you would want it to. And that just goes into, just physics. It happens. That being said, you want to make sure your glass is clean and it doesn't have any off aromas, such as dish soap or sanitizer or anything else that might sit around. So if you have to, want to do a quick wash, add some ice. If not, pour a little vodka in there. Maybe a little rum. Sanitize it, clean it out. Throw some ice in there, make it nice and clean. Now I'm just using an ice bucket with some ice I got in my freezer right down below. Right down there. With the ice cube that came out of the freezer. Some simple. You have at home. Most people have an ice freezer at their house. If you can't, if you don't have an ice freezer, don't worry about it. Use a spoon. Use a metal container or something to scoop the ice out. Just don't use your hands, okay? Now, being that I'm icing this glass, I'm just going to set it off to the side. We don't want to bump into anything. Next, take a pint glass, beer glass, Something that is nice, firm, isn't hot, it's room temp, ready to go. That way, it's easy to use. Also, get yourself a Boston shaker tin. You can usually find these anywhere. Even Bed Bath & Beyond sells them. Really easy to find. You can probably find them at Smith's or Albertsons. We're going to need that later, okay? Now, when it comes to fresh juice, you always want to juice the juice fresh, obviously, like I mentioned before. But since it's been juiced, it will settle. If you've ever looked at pineapple juice, you see the heaviness sit at the bottom and the lightness sit at the top, right? Well, that's going to affect the flavor of the cocktail drastically. So all you got to do is take a little chopstick, or even if you don't have a chopstick, take a towel, put it over the top. All you don't want to do is stick your finger in there. Hey, I have my fingers, I don't even know where they go half the time. So next, you're going to want to measure the amount of juice and amount of alcohol that you put in your drink. This makes a huge difference. A little bit goes a long way. So if you don't have a jigger, such as this one, or any jigger, you can buy them at any store. I got this at Albertsons. It's a nice little tempered measuring device. It's got all different types of measurements, from milliliters to ounces to everything, from baking to cooking. Pick one of those up. Cost me $1.99. Super easy. That way you can easily measure and you have a nice vessel to put it in. Okay? Now, with the ruby grapefruit, since it's been nice stirred, get everything mixed up, I'm going to throw half an ounce in there, okay? Now, say for example, you go a little over, a little under. It's okay. Don't worry about it. This isn't the end of the world. You're not, recreating the wheel. Just have some fun, And this will also matter. It depends on how sweet or dry you want the drink. And once again, we're talking about Hemingway, right? So Hemingway loved the Laforte daiquiri. Laforte daiquiri was a very sweet drink. Sugar, not a lot of rum, a little maraschino, some fresh lime. So what Hemingway did was he started asking the bartenders to take the sugar out of the drink. Keep the lime the way it is, which is about an ounce or one full lime, right? And to double up on the rum. Since Hemingway's nickname in Cuba was Papa Hemingway, they started calling this drink the Papa Doble, or Papa Double. Next, we're going to throw a little maraschino in there. Now, as time progressed, which is going to be right around half an ounce of maraschino, as time progressed, grapefruit juice came into place. Maybe it wasn't readily available, maybe as the Americans started coming over there more and more, or maybe as grapefruit started getting planted more and more, grapefruit came later, okay? That being said, I chose this wonderful Lemba Agricole. It fits what the closest flavor that I can come across, even though it is an Agricole, towards that wonderful Havana 3-star that I find works best for this drink. Lemba is a Dominican rum, artisanal, hence the agricole aspect of things. It's just a really good all-around rum to use in your Hemingway daiquiri. Now, once again, this is going to be a double measurement. So we're going to go 2 ounces of rum here. Back then, a normal measurement was not what a normal measurement is today. So we tend to drink our drinks a little stronger than they did back then, but they also drink their drinks a lot drier and more acidic, is why the Hemingway daiquiri is what it is. Some people also like to say that Hemingway started to become a diabetic later on in his life, hence why he asked the bartender to take the sugar out of the drink. That being said, all 4 ingredients are added to my glass. Next, handy shaker tin, right? Same ice, right out of my freezer. I didn't go out and buy any special ice or get anything crazy. I didn't chip off a block. I didn't go to an ice source to get it. Right out of my freezer, right? It's not going to win any major international IBA cocktail competitions, but who's counting, right? Just pour that right in. Let that fall down, give it a little tap on the bottom like you're spanking your betta, and give it a shake. This is where you want your little prowess and your shaker, you know, just to let sing to you. This is where that all those ingredients become that wonderful marriage and that cocktail in the mouth, right? Now you don't want to go too crazy. You don't want to go too hard on the shake. Give it a nice little release there. But what you do want to do is to dilute and chill this cocktail correctly. Now, that's going to make a big impact in the way this cocktail tastes. If you don't dilute it enough or chill enough, it's going to taste warm and sharp. If you over dilute it, it's going to taste cold, but it's going to taste a little watered down. You want to find that fine medium. Usually you can hear the pitch change when you shake. Pretty simple, right? Now, got a chill glass, nice cold, right? Good at that. Now that being said, I'm going to take a strainer. Something. Don't use the same glass. It doesn't make it look cool. It slows you down, keeps a lot of ingredients down. A normal Hawthorne strainer or the springy strainer sits right on that tin, fits right in there. Very easy to use. Anybody at home can find those anywhere. They don't have to be the fanciest, they don't have to be the tightest one ever, but they just have to work. Just pour that right into your drink. Looks good, doesn't it? Now, if you don't want ice, or if you're going crazy with this drink and starting to really utilize some fun things such as sage, or such as, I don't know, throwing in something else like maybe some cinnamon or something in there, right? Always recommend stop by your local store, pick up a fine strainer. Albertsons or any grocery store carries them. Bed Bath & Beyond, this is OXO. Anywhere carries it. This will carry a lot of those flavors out, or not flavors out, but that extra pulp in case you didn't double strain your juice enough. It'll hold back any ice crystals that might affect the flavor of the drink, and anything else. Now, the garnish of this cocktail, you can go any way. You can do grapefruit peel. You can do a lime wedge, a lime wheel. I chose not to go with the garnish, mainly because it gets in my way. I don't want the garnish. It doesn't really affect the drink, in my opinion, that I would want to drink at home. Now, if I'm at a cocktail bar, that's a different story. Let the bartender, let the beverage program speak for itself with the garnish. Me, I'm at home. I don't need to be that fancy. That being said, this is the Hemingway Daiquiri. Please enjoy.